Oh, it's on us.
Oh, it's on us. We don't want it on us. Hello, hello, hello. Later.
Okay.
All right, we want it on us.
Right.
Let's go. So we're on our way to do some things, some people, and oh, you should. I don't know. You may be able to get glimpses of my boots. Our boots. So this is boot camp. Oh no, that's not really. Like, what cam is it? What's
This is basket cam.
This is basket cam. No, is that the view? How do you say it? Like, is boot cam?
Sure.
Does boot cam mean that the camera's on the boot?
That's right. Sorry.
Or is the camera on the boot?
Yeah, yeah. So
You know what I
either
mean?
yeah.
Anyway, so this is part 2 of the breakfast show because I hadn't finished talking about our love of Papua New Guinea and my love for the people and just the Papua New Guinea. Well, I can't say Papua New Guinea because I haven't actually seen Papua New Guinea. I've only been to Port Moresby, but I do know, like, that people have told me how beautiful. My ex-partner, for instance, lived in Papua New Guinea, and he's an expatriate.
So you have ties from way
Yeah,
back.
well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've always associated Papua New Guinea with good memories. I don't know why. It just was exotic. I've always liked birds of paradise. I don't know why. I've never thought of it as someplace less than or anything like that. I don't know. Hello. I mean, country of my birth has just had coups, so who the hell? So anyway, I didn't really know much about Papua New Guinea, of course, because even though I went to school in Australia, I should get the basket there for people who have something to look at. Even though I went to boarding school in Australia, I didn't even learn anything about Indigenous First Nations people. We were celebrating the bicentennial. That was in 1988. The bicentennial of Australia. And oh look, Australia is this old and this young, and then after that I met people, First Nations people. I was told some things. It's like, well, actually, no, but they say it in their very laid back, very casual way, a few words here and there, but it is it's that which gets left unsaid that speaks the loudest. And I luckily, because I come from not only a country of nuance, but also because of my personal history, I had to really, really understand the silences,
Yeah.
So I know how to read what doesn't get said. I know how to read people by their body language, truly, by what they're wearing, by how they're trying to stand. Anyway, I've got off tangent here. But, so yeah. I think I'm going to have to jump my memory back, darling, because I do tend to digress about all these things. Anyway, I am talking about my love for Papua New Guinea. Prior to that, we were talking about boot camp and all that. So, but this is, anyway, just very quickly, these are a very favourite pair of boots of mine. And, where can I stand? For you, maybe just a little bit. Favorite pair of Pumas. Okay, back to shadow cam.
Yep.
Shadow cam. So yeah, Papua New Guinea. I was saying how people had spoken about it, so I didn't have expectations, but looking forward to it because, of course, I already experienced what people of Papua New Guinea were like. So I come from a little dot on the map, and I certainly know that Papua New Guinea is bigger than us. So I wasn't going to judge anybody for that regard. I'm not saying, for me, I don't. So that's the other thing. I come from such a small place that is so big in I don't know, ego? No, personality. But whatever reason. So I've never thought that some other place is going to be less than or whatever. Sure. And I travel the world, I've seen things. Yeah. So anyway, that's me. But going into Port Moresby was just such a revelation, looking at the arts and all that, and what they do within the tyranny that is, I don't know what has created all that. That I do, but these are questions, I guess, people need to go and find out. Like, aren't people curious as to why these conflicts happen? Does everyone really think that it's a fair fight between it's a fight between two fair sides? Do people not understand that some people are just fighting for the right to live autonomously and with freedom? I don't understand. Like this referendum. Oh look, I can't deal. But anyway, so just before I go into, I suppose, all right. Yes, but I should explain that there's a wonderful evening happening next Wednesday, September 13th, and that's at the Australian Museum in Sydney, and that's their after dark program. All the museums and galleries have an after dark program. Just another way to sell things, but it's great because it allows people who don't have the time to go in the daytime to actually get a bit more of an experience. So you know, get a nightlife experience and culture and learn something. So I love all these what the galleries and museums do after dark. I think that's fantastic. So it's the museum, the Australian Museum's after dark program is called Night at the Museum, which of course is a play on that movie, right?
Yeah, with Ben Stiller.
Right. Oh, God, it's annoying. Those movies are annoying. But I mean, they're fascinating. They're wonderful, and it's also like, oh my God, what if? What if this really happened? Oh gosh! But no, this is what happens. Look, I've got to pick this up. I can't just leave this one. I have walked past. Oh, it's so fucking gross. I can't deal. Don't film me doing this, darling. Like I'm really. Look, it's just I can't stand anything right now. Ugh. So gross. Yuck. Gross. Do you have any sanitizer, sweetheart? This is why I just don't touch anything anymore. I didn't bring any sanitizer.
I didn't either.
Now I'm forever contaminated. I can't see this hand. Look, I hate this hand. I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask if they have any sanitizer.
Look, PG minor bear. It's a minor. They're everywhere. No sanitizer.
No, it's not rubbish I'm worried about. It's people. People who want to put rubbish on their baby. Who knows what people are doing? Thank you. This is why germs spread. God, thank you. You know, I swear people sound weird, but oh God, somebody give me sanitizer. This is just not gonna. You know, personally, meeting I'm just gonna ask you. Like, this is really.
Nobody has sanitizer.
This is why I don't pick up rubbish anymore. I'm just. Why am I not carrying sanitizer? I'm ashamed and appalled.
You usually do. We just thought, oh, we didn't
because
take bags today.
We're only running out for an errand, really, and the basket comes along because I'm always going to go, oh, look, these gorgeous flowers. Oh my God. That's what's going to happen. So this is why I don't. I was saying, this hand is just going to be out of here. Like I don't want to.
I was going to say, maybe at this place, but they're closed. God damn it. It's Saturday.
This is really irritating. Okay?
Is it Saturday?
Oh, look, darling, our days are so erratic, our time. It's not erratic, but as I said earlier, this in Breakfast Show Part... What's going on? No, Breakfast Show Part 1, that, you know, we've got to take some time off from doing other things so that we can do the other things.
That's right.
So, you know, we're constantly working. And that's why... But I had started talking about work-life balance and how that is absolute rubbish, because work is just a part of life. It's not in a junction. It's not not an addition to life. That's disgusting. My hand is disgusting right now. Look, because I have always been germ-phobic, and then the pandemic just really just already sent me over. So, oh God, there's rubbish everywhere. I can't deal. I have to wear gloves. I need to put gloves on. But then, you know, if we do that, really, we're going to have to do that on the days we're not filming.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand that. But also people So let's just talk about it. So I walked past rubbish, and I picked one up. I don't want you to see, because what is that term? Virtue signaling. It's this thing that people, they go and film themselves doing nice things.
Right.
And at first I thought, oh, this is really great. People are just doing these things to demonstrate how to do things, or people seem to have forgotten kindness and stuff. But then it became apparent that people are just doing this for likes. Kindness for likes.
Yeah, right.
Paying other people's bills and buying them flowers for likes. And then people have been retaliating, like the people who've had their bills paid or grocery bills paid, supermarket bills and stuff, and things like that. They retaliated by saying, hey, thank you very much, I didn't need my bills paid. Stuff you social media bullshit kind of thing. So that's what people do it for, likes and validation on social media. So and then a lot of Eurostream people do a lot of things, like, as I was saying the other day, like that super eco-stylist person in Sydney who uses the fact that she's married to a man of Pacific origin, that she's multicultural, and she's hanging with the worst people, but she virtue signaled by this thing that she did. I've gone off tangent, but not really, because I need to explain what this is. I had decided to talk about it. I'm going to post about it. I'm going to write about this without naming names. But and then she put this thing together, invited everybody in the ethical fashion side of things, and I had already connected with this person over a thing that I represent, and I was it was a mutual thing.
Yeah.
But this person, there's all sorts of fun things happening in the park. All right. This person organised, this super stylist, organised this thing where everyone needs to dress up like an indigenous, not like an indigenous person, but to honour indigenous people.
Yeah.
So dress up to honour indigenous people. And I at first just politely said, well, I ignored it. So I ignored it. And then she's darling, you have to pull up my sleeve, because this hand cannot. No, not this one. I can do it with don't go anywhere, this contaminated hand down.
I'll pull this sleeve up.
Yes, please, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm so annoyingly precious. But
I thought that one was falling down.
No, but this one. Anyway, we're not crossing the road, even though there are no cars, because we're trying to well, I am. Because look, okay, it's great. So yes, and then this person went out of their way to contact me and say, well, I would really like you to participate in this, because I have a platform and people know me and I talk about all these things, and it's always these people trying to go get the brown vote by hooking in the brown and black women. These people are very clever how they go and become friends with tokens.
Yeah.
Token friends and all that stuff. Wow. Anyway, and then I said, look, I'm not comfortable with this. I think it's not right. Why can't you honour our First Nations people by encouraging people to go and spend money with the artisans, and not just people from the remote places, etc. How about contemporary artists? About contemporary people. So sorry, I'm just trying to get an angle here. Now I've contaminated the pole. I'm sorry. Right here, then. Right. I don't know where that was going. It was irritating. But now I've contaminated. Don't touch that bit, darling. Because I won't touch it ever again. Oh, look at this art installation. Sorry, I just barked at you like that, my love. But I thought that you were filming like look at this art installation. Modern art. Interesting. Usually because I'm supposed to be standing on that side of you. That's why. Okay. Your angles are for here, but I can't because I have disgusting palms. So I can't do that until I clean my hair.
Maybe in that one of these like that express mile.
Let's get closer up to where we're supposed to be. So I was saying, right, and I just said, look, I think that it's wrong. I think that I would rather show my support for First Nations ingenuity and design, not by paying homage to it, by wearing things already in my wardrobe, but actually buying all these things. And I have, this is all written down. If anybody ever tries to challenge the truth of these things, And boy, woof, wow. It's like it had offended her ancestors' kidneys or something. I don't know. That malfunction, that's why these people are born. I don't know, something like that. It's like I might have said something like that. And she said, well, the indigenous consultant I worked with said it was all right what I was doing. It was incredible. It was just very forward thinking, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, sure. And then I said, well, maybe perhaps sometimes people feel they need to take a step back in order to be seen so that they can then step up for everybody else. I thought that might be the case. So many of us, people of culture, people of color, First Nations people, people of the global majority have to step back for the bigger picture. Like if we just allow these people to do that, and that maybe we'll get a bigger platform so that we can actually talk about the issues. So many of us make those decisions. Oh, look at shit. Anyway, and then she said, you should talk to her. And without actually asking me, she forced me to say all of this to the First Nations person who was the consultant. Oh my gosh. Creating all this bullshit, then expecting a brown woman to then talk to an indigenous woman who is white passing, but still that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that they're not indigenous. That is not their fault that their ethnicity was a target for the colonized. Unfortunately, this is what Eurostream Australia loves. But anyway, so she forced that upon me, and this person saying, hey sis, what's the problem? And I'm like, hi sis, sorry, I mean no offense, but this isn't right. I support designers of First Nations origin. I buy buying them, and I try not to get discounts, and I'm lucky if I do. Particularly people in Fiji, I try and buy as much as possible, and some of the more successful designers give me their clothes, and I think I give them hundreds and hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars worth of free publicity, because I wear clothes by Fijian designers all over the fucking world, and I tag them, and I write about them, I photograph their stuff for free, and they don't give me anything back. But this is not what that's about. It's pissing me off, because I never ask and I never do things for ulterior motive. I'm sick and tired of them. They don't want anything. Their arrogance is ruining them. And there are people all over the world, and especially places like Papua New Guinea, that hunger for recognition, and hunger for people of their own kind to come back in and say, hey, look, I've learned this. I'm happy to share my information. Let's do this together. No, instead everyone thinks they know better. Everyone, oh God. But I love Fiji, damn it. I'm always going to. But so I need to finish the story, what happened with this First Nations consultant. So it didn't get heated, but I don't agree, and I think it's not right. And then oh gosh, it's so sad. That's the other thing we need to talk about. All the beggars in Sydney are all white. What's going on? What's going on? Look how beautiful. Come here, darling. Okay, let's keep walking. As I was saying, so yes, and so unfortunately then I got blocked by them, and I got bullied by their friends. One friend is someone who I actually helped introduce to their current source of infamy, but I was just used as a stepping stone to get to what they thought were greener pastures, and ended up just being an ivy drip out of taxpayers' money. Ooh, I'm being very cryptic here. But anyway, so I got bullied. Don't you take on my friends, you will have to contend with me. And this person saying that is like the size of and horribly horrible person. used to be my friend. A person I have supported against the very people that they're linked up with now. Wow, anyway, end of story. But people are horrible. I don't know when people are desperate for validation, they become nastier and nastier, or further, into oblivion. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so, I'm talking about all things great, really. This is like, I have been given so much, I want to pour back. And I pour back willingly, even to those who, I don't know what people want. Anyway, enough of that. Well, this is not it. We will be sitting down to officially talk about our love of PNG, but just let me continue with this. So yes, when I got to PNG, it was just so incredible, and I was, just so blown away by the caliber of everything. Not just the fact that it existed. Of course, I know it existed. How dare these people try and say it otherwise? How dare these aunties try and say that there was no beauty there? There was beauty galore, because my idea of beauty is not based on a Eurostream construct. It's not, I don't consider beauty like that. I can see beauty in the Eurostream, but that's not how I judge it, is what I'm saying. As in judge it worldwide beauty. I don't look at someone from the Pacific origin and say they're beautiful only if they look like a Eurostream person. For that matter, I have to keep saying, please stop using Caucasian to describe Eurostream white people. That's not what Caucasian means. It's a very archaic term, by the way. It's frankly boring. My hand is burning from germs. Oh, you know where? Let's go in here a little.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe there, actually. So, anyway. So that's that. So yeah, but just bullied and stuff. I thought, wow. And I've got it up there, and I've redacted names because I don't want to. This is not about fights and stuff like that. I don't want this retaliation thing. But I'm telling people facts, and it sounds like I'm being gossipy and salacious when actually I'm just recounting fact. This is all the shit that happens to people when they have the courage to have some integrity and conviction. This is what it takes. You get left alone and ostracized while all your enemies unite over their combined hatred for you because something about you makes them confront something about them and they find themselves wanting. Anyway, good Lord, finally. Oh, it's right here. Well, that's good. Oh, please. That's not enough. But I do have to actually, my darling, do you have a free hand? Can you take that, please? Hello, we have found sanitizer. Excuse me, well, just, gross. I need to just throw this, excuse me, for a moment, because I can't. And people are saying, so what did you do before this? Well, I've always carried sanitizers, and also I've always washed my hands. That's always good. And, everyone touches their faces, so just be conscious of that. But I just think something, thank you very much, Sanitizing Social. The consequences of COVID is that people, and the pandemic lockdowns, I don't think people are, there's some people who are very careful across all racial groupings. It's got nothing to do with race and everything to do with personality type. And there's some people who are a bit too careful, like me, and then there are people who are just usual, hygienic, wash hands, sanitize now, just be a bit extra careful. There are a few new viruses in the world, etc., etc. It doesn't hurt to be a little bit of extra, Look, I really hope I haven't missed what's my friend? Because what's the time, darling? It's just about 10:45. Okay, so we can sort of hang around over here. Let's go. I had a great interview that I haven't posted yet. I'm annoyed at myself because I had a great interview. Hello, no one can see anything. I'm so sorry. I hope it's enough to just hear. Just have us on in the background. There's nothing to see. Nothing to see here. So we're going to sit somewhere and be something to see. So we can turn around and us.
Okay.
And then I kind of hope that you've got your phone.
Yes.
Do you want to actually just message?
Yeah.
I already have. The person is running late, but we could sit here and just be. Look, there's some really lovely things to see, and not just my boots, not just my phone. This man is ridiculous. Okay, you know, just don't. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassing you like this. Embarrassing myself. But I don't mind. It's not embarrassing. I mean, I don't understand why people are together if they're then embarrassed to say just explain that the reason why they're madly in love is because it starts from within. His beauty is relatively new to me, and I've said this to you, and he genuinely is not listening to me. He tunes out every time I speak about him. Every time I talk, he is so immersed in what I'm saying. He's not always good to say, darling, so what was I saying? Because he listens in the present moment. So he listens to every word I'm saying as I say it, which is why he's a wonderful, wonderful listener. He doesn't listen to preempt me or to ask a question. So sometimes I have to remind him, darling, you've actually got to listen to me. Anyway, it's me again. Hi. I'm really back into my caps now. I only have a few. Dwayne used to have a lot of caps a long time ago, and his are all gone. And I continue to keep my Wallabies and Brumbies cap, my rugby caps I keep. Some of these are very sentimental. Anyway, I was talking about these things. Let me just finish this. So yeah, I got bullied and ostracized, and maybe you think I was being a bit dramatic, and perhaps you're wrong. Look, I'm going to go over there. It's a little bit sunny over there, and a little bit less boring. So hi. Look at the sky. And we can sit with a little bit of sunshine on us then. Because, all right, you sit here, beloved. And then we can keep. So where is the sunshine? Oh, so okay, where are you sitting? So let's sit here. Hey, you know what we can do? I know, I really love that. Ooh, because this is super, super amazing. Sorry, shield your eyes. It's not just the glare from my flare. It's, wait a minute. It would have worked better if I had actually flipped the camera or what I was supposed to. God, well, this is the consequences of life. And I can't help myself. Look at that. No, you still can't look at anything. No, you can. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? I love light. Love. Oops, I'm sorry, I have done things now. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Right, darling, I don't know what I've done. I've lost focus. Oh, literally, I did lose focus on the lens. Anyway. Sorry, you know what we can also do is just actually put this on a tripod.
Yes, we always forget that.
I always forget that this is a little tripod. Excuse me, just take a break, talk amongst yourselves. This is this is back of house stuff that usually happens in ad breaks and things like that on shows, or in the in the editing studio, the editing suite. But we're coming to you live. But I don't like this light either. I like that.
Yeah, so we have to face this way and put the tripod in.
Well, that might work, but it just be a little. Can you move these things down? Why do they bolt these seats down? You know why? Listen, like stop trolleys. Stealing things from public areas and leave people, public access to things. So people wouldn't have to bolt down stools and stuff. Because we could then move this over there where the light is much better.
Like those street mirrors.
You
Around sharp corners, they have mirrors. People that they don't have them anymore. People steal. Sorry. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that they were just too cheap. People were just being too cheap. Oh, well, that's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, right. So what was I saying? So this virtue signaling is what I had started talking about, and how these people then bullied me and said that I was the baddie because I was actually more about, well, can't we help First Nations people by, firstly just referring to them as people, and then saying of their origin, which is very important, very important. Don't say you don't see color. You need to. It exists. Nothing that people don't exist because you are the benchmark. No, it's actually the Eurostream is the youngest, so it didn't evolve quickly. But anyway, look, I don't want to say too much about that because I do love a lot of it, all of it, a lot of it, and a lot of it I don't.
Yeah, you have to see color. Color tells you a lot about something.
Yes. Then why would they have fake tans?
No. I mean, like culturally. If you see a person with dark skin, you know how to act, or you know how to respect someone, how to, you know. So like in nature, color is tells you whether something is dangerous or not, like a fruit, right? So color tells you a lot about a person, how to treat them, how to talk to them, maybe where they're from. You can differentiate between Papua New Guinean, Fijian, Vanuatu, Solomon Island.
That's an interesting take.
And so you can treat the person according to their culture. You understand them, you know.
Interesting take, because I would say I'm really weirded out that people think that they are superior to other people based on their skin color, and then certainly people who then go off to the Riviera or the Chemist Warehouse or wherever to get a tan, or you know, a solarium. I don't know. And likewise, you know, when you are a person of culture and a person of color, but you are lighter skinned, you have the luxury of being able to tan. Because people know you're going to go back to your... It's weird. Color politics is weird.
It's not fair.
Ha ha. Ha ha. Isn't it funny that the darkest amongst us are the most unfairly treated? You started it. You said it. I'm just riffing off what that very wise thing. Have you messaged our friend?
Yes.
Okay, great.
She'll message me if anything.
Okay, fantastic. So we're waiting for a superstar, for an absolute superstar. Now we really should talk about, but perhaps we should, because this is a bit of a mixed bag. So perhaps later on this afternoon we will do a bit more of a dedicated thing to Papua New Guinea and explain why it's called what it is. But then you also know I'm just going to tell you right now. But I need to finish up the threads of the stories, because I was talking about virtue signaling, because I picked up some rubbish, which then after that I was like, ooh, look what I did. The consequences of my one good deed. And this is what a lot of people are. And then they say, I will never do that again. I'll never do that because I had to touch it with my naked hand and didn't have anything to clean it with. I'm never going to clean rubbish again. That's how people are with things. You know, they do one thing, their good deed, and something doesn't go quite right according to how they envision things in their mind, and therefore they won't do anything ever again. It's very strange. Anyway, I usually carry gloves, but I haven't for a while because I don't really trust the rubbish anywhere anymore. And you know what was being thrown on the ground the most? Masks and gloves and tissues. For a while, that's what was littering everything. Anyway, I'm not saying we try and live as cleanly as possible. I mean, I don't just mean hygienically, I also mean in our practices, as he vapes. You know, but you've got to have some vices. That's again that balance, what they call work-life balance. It's not work. Work is a part of life, not in addition to. But you can't all be a saint, always be saintly and whatever. You just have to live 2/3 of the time as well as possible. You know, and then when you indulge, and this is not just some spiritual thing, this is quite practical. When you indulge, your body says, okay, it's all right. It's just a little bit of a treat. Everybody, this is where, all right, good cells, you know, this is where we go into action kind of thing. So, yeah, that's something like that. Virtue signaling. So that's why I asked you not to film me, and when we do go back out doing, you know, some days at a time, we won't film, let's just pick up rubbish kind of thing. Yeah. But again, this area has a lot of, because this is the other thing, this is another dilemma, and you're going to say, well, it's not really a dilemma, but it is, because there's a lot of janitorial people, employees in this area who are all over the place picking up rubbish, and the fact that you see rubbish just means that there's a lot of people who litter, because there's a lot of people cleaning, and it could be worse. It really could be worse. Oh, look at our superstar. Look at this. I'm sorry, but hello, hello, and you excuse me. We're going to come this way. You're walking the wrong way. You're on live. Just be aware. And look at her. I mean, what a superstar. Hello, superstar. Look at you. Wow. Hi. She is Sigrid Yaru. This fantastic young woman is the first cover person of The Wanderer, and you have seen stories and everything. Hello, honey. How are you? I wonder if I can do a dual thing. I can't, can I? So I think I might just take the pressure off you. Look at you. You look amazing. Yes. All right. I'll go there.
The light's nice there.
Oh, okay. Great. How are you, honey?
Great. It's a bit chilly.
It is a bit chilly, right? But I'm saying, look at you. You look fantastic, of course. Oh, do you like the cover?
I love it.
Do you like? I've been sending sneak peeks because I couldn't help it, because Dwayne has been sitting, because our desks are side by side, and I'm every image I edit, I'm like, oh my god. I don't even have to really edit. Everything is so beautiful.
I love it.
It was so good.
How it turned out.
Oh, I just put it in this bag. So this is the stuff that's, and I thought you'd bring a bill.
Yeah.
So, and now I'll explain that one of the designers, I've misplaced one component of their garment, but that doesn't mean it can't be. And so I've given this, and I'll explain later why, because I want it to be shown in a contemporary, can be worn anywhere from Port Moresby to Sydney to Suva to Singapore, to New York kind of thing. So just those things. That's in there, and of course this is for that. Amazing. So that's for you. So yes, we were just talking about. We started off the breakfast show talking about Papua New Guinea and our love for it. And this is why what's happening. And I hadn't yet launched into what's happening. I had started it, but look, it was meant to happen now. I had started talking about what's happening on Wednesday, September 13th, and I started out by going, oh look, all the galleries are doing this After Dark thing, which I think is great, and the museum has this Night at the Museum thing, which is a bit sort of named after that movie, and like, oh my god, blah blah blah, and then I went, of course, off tangent as per usual. But that's great, because this is what we were meant to do. We were meant to wait until Sigrid came into frame. So because this is live TV, so we think of it as an ad break, blah blah blah, and now we're going. Sigrid, what is happening on September 13th at the Australian Museum in Sydney?
So basically we're doing a night celebrating Papua New Guinea. It was just do whatever you want celebrating PNG. So just curating this night. I guess same with what Stylander was going for with Wanderer. Just a contemporary setting of PNG.
Now, Sigrid is no stranger to doing this. Sigrid is very, very active within the young Australian community, but also the Sydney Wontok community. And you are the communications and connections person, the person who has got all the connections happening. Sigrid, you work in finance, but you are a creative facilitator. So Sigrid has been putting on exhibitions. The one we went to starring superstars, not just up and coming artists of Papua New Guinean origin, superstars. So please tell a little bit about these two superstars that was at this first exhibition.
Yeah, so I got to work with two PNG artists, contemporary PNG artists, Leslie Wangembo and Jordan Morris, or Grim Jordan as he's known. Yes.
If I may just say, when we have some interviews coming up for you to listen to hear, we were at that exhibition, and also there's some great stuff coming up with Sigrid later. But yes, so this is, and you facilitated this, yes?
Yes.
Because you don't wait.
Yeah, we just wanted to tell our stories from us rather than have someone else try to tell our stories. We don't think it does it justice.
Wonderful.
So I think Papua New Guineans have our own lens or perspective of how we wish people would see us, and I think for so long there would be like a white man's take on PNG, or even like us
PNG.
in a sense,
everybody else,
everyone else's.
So what my question I've asked before, what Dwayne and I talk about, is what was the point of all this colonizer education? It's not to then feed our own birds ourselves, and by that I mean, so those of us who have had the privilege of having that, we use these, we create our own platforms, and regardless of how small a spot you yourself are standing on. And Sigrid, that's what you did, and we met quite wonderfully, because we met at a launch of it was a Billum thing at Quila Cafe.
Yes.
And I'm saying all these names because remember these names, because we're going to round it off later. Just a bit.
It all comes together.
Are you warm enough, honey?
Yes.
It is a bit chilly, so I'm not going to keep you. I know you've got a full day ahead of you, so thank you for this time. And so, we were there because, as you've heard earlier on today, our associations with Papua New Guinea ourselves, and so we were at Quila Cafe, which again, remember this name, and it was a Billum launch, etc. and it was in this lovely intimate space of gorgeous people, as a photographer, as a social, anthropologist, and as someone whose beauty is not defined by Eurostream constructs. I see beauty, and I'm looking around, and it's like, oh my God, who is that? And it's Sigrid, and I'm sure she's like, why is this weirdo like staring at me? And I had to go up to you and say, look, and you were sitting with Pil and some others, and everyone was just so like, look, the chill coming, like it was just cool. All right, it's cool, and then there's cool you just do not understand. Anyway, so there was just cool dripping in that corner, and I said, I must photograph you, and you must be, because I say used to because this beautiful platform is now over, and I stayed with it to the end. Pacific Runway, the Southern Hemisphere's most prestigious platform for fashion and design creatives of Pacific origin. And it was like, Sigrid, please, you must, and walk, and I must photograph you, and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, and unfortunately, pandemic lockdowns happened, etc., so things didn't quite work out. But Sigrid and I maintained a relationship and friendship, and where it's an unofficial older woman, younger woman, but I respect you, and I see these things, and I'm just like, see this fire. I'm not one of those old people that says, oh, I see you in me, or I don't, no, I hate that. You have to respect other people for them. So I look at Sigrid, and I just see, wow, this is the future. And because of my, and it's all meant to be, this path, this destiny path of Papua New Guinea, my association with it, and then, I meet you, and we've had an incredible shoot, an incredible conversation coming up on RF2 of the interviews, an incredible conversation Sigrid and I had about all these things. We talked about these things at the exhibition that Sigrid put on, because she's not waiting. Sigrid funds a lot of this by herself. And that's when you have your platforms, that's what you do. Even if you can't do it financially, you do it in other ways, by showing support, or just saying, hey, how can we pool resources? What can we do? And this is what you're doing. This is why I don't let people speak, because people like Sigrid and Dwayne, who are humble, who just tell facts, they don't actually talk about themselves. And this is where I come in, because I could talk about you forever. Seriously, I loved photographing you. I love having you and welcoming you into our space, and we connect on so many levels. And for me, it's like, okay, great, because I feel guilty also about what my generation has is leaving this place. So it's wonderful to then connect with the new generation of people who are saying, yeah, we're not settling for this. So we're taking the Eurostream constructs and the privilege, and you honor that. We acknowledge all the time, we love being a part of this. Look at what we can do. We can, swap witticisms. We can go from English, Australian to, talk Brazilian and whatever language. So it's fantastic. So now let's go back to what's happening. So it's a night at the museum, and this is contemporary Papua New Guinea. You think you know Papua New Guinea, but all you really know is the strife and how torn it apart it is in two, because Papua and New Guinea are two separate things. And this is as I explained earlier on in our breakfast show, a land of people 60,000 years old that are cousins of the indigenous people of this land as well. These are two separate, and so much has come from the land that is now Papua New Guinea. So you know a little bit about that, hopefully now by listening to us. You know that bananas, Sigrid knows that bananas came from Papua New Guinea, okay? But what people don't know, people know bilums. So people know bilums, and bilums become the Eurostream way of connecting, which is lovely, because it is wearable art, but it is a practical art, as I explained. And this is very simplistic, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, but a bilum in Papua New Guinea, and to a person of Papua New Guinean origin and friends, a bilum is a sustainable, ethical plastic bag. It's used for everything. It happens to be a work of art because the person who weaves it weaves individuality and personality into it. This one is from Project 2 Mile, formerly known as Bilums and Baskets. Another shoot that we all were on, which is beautiful. We can't wait for you to see it. And what is really beautiful about Project 2 Mile is that it is founded and run by a Papua New Guinean woman, and we'll have stories about that later. So we're going to go back to what we're seeing on Wednesday, September 13th at the Australian Museum. We're seeing contemporary life and style of the people of Papua New Guinea. Everything from art, music, fashion will be speaking, and this is what I haven't been able to say because I talk about everything else, have the honor of I am moderating a panel of incredible young people. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, please do not make a fool of yourself, Sandhya, because, you know, as I'm saying, I now get to sit with these caps that drip cool, you know. It's so wonderful. You're all so varied. And so would you like to tell a little bit more about our other participants? Because you want to talk about you, so I'll have to talk about Sigrid. So talk about our wonderful other panel participants.
Yeah.
Guests, sorry.
Basically, the whole night at the museum celebrating Papua New Guinea is to be a contrast of the exhibition that's happening. So I guess, yes, one part of our culture is all our traditional bilas, and bilas that Sandhya tapped into is, it can be anything, jewelry, the bilums that we carry, anything we wear can be bilas. But all the pictures on display, all that there, I guess when everyone assumes PNG to be like, oh, you guys just dress in your traditional attire, that's how you walk around. Yeah, so I guess everyone expects us to be in our
niche.
Yeah, but we are more than just our bilas.
Yeah.
More than just our face mates.
Beautiful.
We do embrace it, but we also are just regular people. If you walk in the museum and think, oh, is this how you all live? No, like, we have jobs, we have, you know, everything's just normal how you would perceive Western society to be.
This is what we will be talking about on that panel, because this is really, really important for you to understand. Sure, Sigrid carries her bilas, carries a bilum, wears something that you think, oh, is that traditional? It may just be fashion, really.
Yeah.
But her earrings may be from somewhere. Yes, because that is the beauty of being a person of multicultural. You can. You wear, because you are a person of both worlds. You don't have to choose. You're not appropriating, but you are very conscious of not appropriating other people's cultures. So, but what we are going to be introduced to is the contemporary side, and how people of multicultural use their traditions, use what has been their ancients and the way of language, and they fuse it. They take tradition and they move it along with them.
Yeah.
And this is what you'll be seeing at the museum.
Yes.
And yes, you may be seeing, you know, an artwork that is absolutely, but it's of the times and the people and the ancient, but the way it's done and the person's doing is a contemporary artist. And there's the beauty of, say, Leslie Wangembo and Jordan Morris is that they're two very separate personalities. Leslie is what you would consider someone, you would say, oh yes, this is a person from Papua New Guinea, but so is Jordan. Yeah. So is Sigrid. Sigrid was born in Papua New Guinea, but has been expanded into her consciousness in Australia without compromising her origins, but understanding that she is a person of this now. And I'm so excited, Sigrid. I'm so excited to talk with you. I promise I won't be talking like this, but there's things that you need to hear, and I feel that I don't want Sigrid to talk because I want her to talk, because when Sigrid and I talk, she talks from her core, this Wonder Woman, this wanderer, this name. Now we might as well talk about it just here, because we came up with the name Wanderer, and then Sigrid said, oh my gosh, Dwayne and I came up with this name because it is closely related to how people of multicultural are not afraid to travel, because they travel with their roots inside them. So they're wanderers because they know they're always connected. They look in a reflection, and if they're lucky, they know their identity is in here. So this is what keeps people so wonderfully grounded, honey. So this is what people will see, how the connections still happen. And I've just lost my train a little. So I'm just saying that this is what we will be talking about. But Sigrid and I talk, and I hear that core, and I see this modern urban woman connected to her ancient land, and it's just beautiful. And this is what I want you to talk about in that panel. I want to hear from our other wonderful panelists about how it feels to them, because our particular topic is talking about what does colonization mean to people of a land that was colonized, but these young people, and what's their place anywhere? Who are they? So we won't talk about it now, because as I said, when Sigrid and I talk, talk together off camera, off record, you know, it's the passion and the structure of that passion pours out of Sigrid. And I want you, if you're in Sydney and lucky enough to be free that night, please do come and see what it is we're going to talk about. But it's not that our panel is just one part of that night. There's all sorts of things. Sigrid is the coordinator of that, and the Sydney One Talk Association is very much a part of this. And Sigrid's just coordinating. She's working full time and coordinating all of this. And you know, we've got a fashion exhibition. We've got music, Gari Guru, who you also, you know, Sigrid is just widening and expanding her platform, connecting with people. And there's these, you know, who else is shown there? And so we said Kwila Cafe. Why? Please tell.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of Papua New Guineans, and a big part of our culture is humility, and I guess Sandy was getting into that. Not wanting to put the spotlight or highlight what we do, but I think the second panel on that night, we're calling it a talk story, which is just, you know, more informal, just hear what these three people, again, fortunate enough to know and connect with all these Papua New Guineans, especially in Sydney. So Vic Lynch, who's the owner of Kwila Cafe, if you've been, it's in Surrey Hills. He also owns Timber Cafe in Lismore, him along with his beautiful wife Mel. And then there's Sydney Imbun, who's a founder of Out and Seek. So it's a platform just highlighting, I guess, providing access and space for people with disabilities. Just a space that I don't think is highlighted often. And Wapil Imbun, who's the curator of Pacifica Visuals. Again, so often we see Pacific Islands but not showcase Melanesia or Micronesia.
It's a big thing.
That was a big part of Wapil starting Pacifica Visuals, just highlighting the whole Pacific. You can't just call something the Pacific Islands and not think about, you know,
The Pacific Islands.
the Pacific Islands.
Moana is Polynesian. Sorry to say,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, but it doesn't depict Melanesia, and then there's Micronesia, which everyone forgets. You know.
Completely,
But
yeah.
Melanesia in particular gets completely negated as being a source of beauty and joy and, you know, just lightness and but that's and also all these things that people are doing outside of land. You know, that you're talking about Vic doing this and starting this initiative in Lismore, and you know all that, and then so you're also sorry, I don't want to give away too much. You've got to come and find out. So I'm trying to skip through these things. So we're going to go back. So Vic is ending the evening. It's from 6 to 9, and there's lots of, actually 5 to 9. My apologies. Lots of things happening, and Welcome to Country is at 6 o'clock. But before that, we've got Gari Guru
Opening up from 5:30.
Gary, you've got to, you know, is just, he's the voice you should be hearing on your radios, on your, you know, your streaming, your music streaming platforms, and just and you've got close association with him because again, so what I'm doing as being the mouthpiece, because I don't have a problem talking, for all these beautiful, humble, wonderful paradigm shifters, movers, shakers, change makers, is I'm being the one who will tell you, look at this amazing person. Sigrid is using her breath and her energy to show you all these other wonderful people. So Gari Guru is someone also that you sort of help him, you know, or manage everything, because creators need people like Sigrid to see their creativity, to feel it, to understand that sometimes creative industries also need people who can organize. You know? Sigrid's a facilitator, an event organizer, a doer. So that's what you do with Gari,
Same thing. I think everyone would expect him to sing in Tokpisin or sing in Motu, which is where his family's from, the Papuan region of PNG. But it's like he doesn't need to also fit into that niche. He can be just a singer. Who's from Papua New Guinea.
That's right. So it's just about origin. And if he, because Baker Boy is a wonderful example of fusing everything, and you know, but it's his choice. And for Indigenous people, I think it is very essential to show how they can master the colonizers, you know, language and all that, but still they haven't compromised their own. So Gari Guru is a musician and a singer who just very proudly happens to be of Papua New Guinean origin. But likewise, the fashion you'll see is very proudly happens to be of Papua New Guinean origin. But there's stories and history in every fall and drape and cut. The silhouettes and structures are modern Eurostream silhouettes, but in that is the history of the land of Papua New Guinea. It's beautiful. Look, you've got to be there. And Sigrid, I know, will be looking hot because I know what she's wearing. So you always do anyway. So and I'm really excited about that. But I'm going to let you go on your way, honey, because I know you've got a busy day and it's just a beautiful day in Sydney. I don't want you to do. Although we could talk forever, but, you know. And also we've only got 1 hour to talk, so we're just somebody's going to have to say, "Oh damn, I'm the moderator. I'm going to have to say, right, that's it, Sandy. Stop talking." So because I know that we could all, and our wonderful other panelists on that panel are
Tete Bakich.
Yes.
She's from the Papuan region. Her family's from the Papuan region of Papua New Guinea, and also Lungo Lukino. So I guess different personalities that maybe people don't expect Papua New Guineans to be.
so fantastic. Yeah.
So I guess that was the main idea behind that panel as well.
This is Papua New Guinea contemporary, as we were saying. That this idea of work balance is rubbish. Work is just a part of life. And Papua New Guinea, their tradition is their wonderful luck and legacy, their ancient being, their cultures, their diversity, biological and cultural diversity. But these are people of the modern world. They are wanderers. And I'm going to end this on this because when he told Sigrid this is what it's going to be called, Sigrid sent me screenshots or a post of something that she had when she was in Fiji, because Sigrid also has close ties with Fiji. She grew up, and this is what's so uncanny. One of her closest friends is the daughter of my former band leader, the legendary Ken Jansen, of Ken Jansen and the Hearts from back then, but that's not all Ken Jansen is. And so that was like, oh my God, what? So
another connection.
So our friendship is meant to be, and it's just so Sigrid sent me this her post that she had when she was last holidaying with her friends in Fiji, and it's at a place I know well and stuff. And she's written there her favorite word is wanderlust. And then we thought, yes, that's what it's got to be. But Sigrid, the reason why Dwayne and I didn't do that, because that's your word, and that's your word to use with why, because you wander, and when lust is put with the word wonder, it softens it and makes it a thirst and a passion to know more, to wander around, because you have who you are within you. So wanderlust is your beautiful word for you, that you had, it's your favorite word, and we leave it with you because this is what you do, because everywhere you go enhance everybody's life, and especially of a person lucky enough to be from Papua New Guinea. And this is your representation out in the big world. People like Sigrid Yaru, who will take her wanderlust and just shine a huge spotlight, be a lighthouse and shine a huge spotlight on contemporary Papua New Guinea, which is the result of ancient life and living. So that's it. That's all we have to say for now. So Wanderlust, a wanderer, please go and see Sigrid is our first cover girl. And for the month of September and leaking into October, because we can do that, we're just going to have everything about all these things and even more, and photographs I've taken of people, of Papua New Guinean designers on the runway, etc., etc. So that's it. I better let Sigrid go, otherwise she's going to be here all day. So we must go as well. And thank you very much, honey. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes.
Honey. And it's all very exciting. So put this in your film. Just crunch it up in there, maybe. It'll expand. Is that all right? Unless you want to carry it. Hello, Willem can carry everything.
That's right. There you go. Look at that.
It's just I have packed it a bit ungainly. I'm sorry, and the Willem's already got things in it because this is her cigarette. Thank you, darling. You look absolutely cool. You know I have to take a photograph of you. I'm really sorry. You just look so amazing. Can I just take you over there quickly? Take a photograph.
I should have taken it with my Willem before stuffing it.
Oh no, I like it that it's stuff because it's you can just I'll show you. I'll tell you how to carry it. So, but you must. I'm sorry, I do this, you know, but I guess now people who know me know. Like people who know me, who meet people who are interesting, always go, oh my gosh, I know Sandy is going to want to interview this person. So I know you're Russian. So hang on, I'm just taking a photograph of Sigrid, even though I probably now she's going to have to tell people, look, I'm sorry, I'm running late because
No. Usually I'm just
oh right. I would scream. I think perhaps, you know what, this beautiful, how's this slide here? How's the slide? Not for me, because I just feel like
Yeah, good.
being great. So, cigarette, and then you can hold the film on in your right hand, left hand if you want. But you just look so gorgeous. I'm going to take a photograph. And the light is divine now here. So, hang on. Look, chin up, honey, chin up. Beautiful cigarette. I like how you're standing before the other. Yes, that's lovely. Oh, stunning. Look that way, darling. Good, lovely. Look to your right now. Chin up, beautiful. That's stunning. That's stunning. And that's a gorgeous cigarette. Beautiful. Stay there, honey. Stay there. That light there. Sorry. Beautiful. I like that. I've lost my focus. Lost my focus. Sorry. Hang on. People behind you. Yes. Beautiful cigarette. Oh, stunning, honey. Stunning. You look so good. Thank you. You look so good. Beautiful. I love that. That's gorgeous. Kind of like that Austin Powers guy. Put your chin, one last one. That's it. Beautiful. Look up to that sky that you are, you soar there. You fly, Sigrid. Beautiful, honey. Thank you so much, honey. All right, I'll let you go and meet up with you further.
We want to go check out this. It's in Glendenning.
Yes.
They have a Second Life market.
What is that? What is that? Like a circuit, like stuff?
Second hand.
Okay, but,
Yeah.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll probably get there one day.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll let you go.
I'll see you.
Yes, we'll see you on Wednesday. We'll get there early, of course.
Yes.
What time would you like us there?
I need to send you. Yeah, because
we'll
we're doing my testing.
Right, so
Yeah.
we'll talk throughout the week anyway. Off mic.
Yeah.
Off
I'll
mic.
message you.
All right, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll send you the time you have to be there.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And because I've got a few other questions, I've got everyone's bios and everything, and I just want to be like raw with them and wing it, usual way we talk, Kalanoa, and talk. Oh my God, you look amazing. Mwah. Wonderful, darling. Thank you. I'll see you on Wednesday. We'll see you on Wednesday, both of us. All right. And we'll schedule the live.
Yes.
We'll schedule the live and we'll do that.
Because you know the feed is separate to it.
Yes.
I want to get videos of Ruma's
Right. Yes.
as well.
All right.
So that will be the whole time. So we'll
Okay,
have
great.
time
So
to
maybe
go.
the videos we took on our shoot.
And then, yeah.
We'll talk. We can't talk on camera. We've got things behind the scenes. All right, honey. Talk to you soon. Bye. Look, you would say, so my cigarette. Actually, I'm sorry. Can you step back into the I really need to take. Just standing quickly. In there. I won't take you a snap. I won't say that. Hang on. It's this really lovely light here. All right, go. You better go. Where are you going? Go. Bye. 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 Bye, honey. Bye. Okay, great. How wonderful. So grateful that we got to have this conversation with Sigrid. Wonderful. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited for Wednesday night. These people, these incredible young people, and they're all such movers and shakers, they're such doers. They're also, they all just walk with their identity inside them. It's wonderful. Let's try not to then walk into things.
Yes.
let's walk with an eye to the ground. Oh, look, these cool people everywhere. I truly want to just, and it's weird going up to people of culture who are wearing European clothing, because there's something about the fusion of things. If somebody is wearing something that is partly of their race or religion, and then they've fused that with with Euro clothing, they look cool. everyone looks cool. But it's weird also to say that because it's like, well, it's rude. I don't know. I battle with my own self sometimes. Sure. These are the battles I battle with. Like, how do I explain that this is cool? You know, we should do something cool like, okay, I know what we're going to do. So, we're just going to do something cool.
Alright.
It's probably not that cool, but it's just cool to us. Anyway, so what were we talking about? So we've talked about all that. And so that's what I hope that was all, you know, nicely explained, and that people and have got a bit more information and understand what it is that is going on. And really, what are we doing? Well, look, let's just go and see what we look like. What's happening here? I don't know. But let's just, can't really see us. Or maybe you can, but it's on me now, I guess. So, this way. Yeah. Okay, great. So now that I can't see anything.
There you go.
The light is so wonderful. But it's not that hot, is it? Oh my goodness. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry about this back of house stuff. I'm really sorry that you have to see what happens behind the scenes. But hey.
Reality TV.
Reality TV. Oh God, clean hand. We didn't clean the pole. Oh my gosh. Now you know I'm feeling icky again now. Oh, I really must explain what I'm wearing. Why do I have to explain? Because, well, Sigrid has just said something wonderful about the Second Life thing, because I'm very much a champion, as in a supporter of what we now call the circular economy, which really just means I love going to op shops. And I really need to talk about that, because my love of op shops started when I moved to Australia and was looking for an opera-length gown. God, I know. But whatever, because I could, whatever. And then before that, I only went to vintage stores. So we'll talk about that another time. But I love that. So I've been, and then I realized how wonderfully connecting it is to history of people and stuff. Anyway, we'll talk about that, why I have always been fortunate enough to be a supporter of the what we call circular economy, and not because of economy. I have a choice. And because I choose to spend it in not, well, although I do support newness of things. Otherwise, all these young people with all their ideas, what are they going to do if we all just continue buying secondhand? So there's varying arguments, although I very much am a recycler. Anyway, so I'm also an op shopper and very much a vintage collector. So these are Levi's. They're not button fly. I used to have a pair of Levi's fly, but God, they're annoying. And this one, the zip's a little bit annoying. R.M. Williams belt. This is 90s, made in Australia. So, I like old things, as I've said. I don't find anything wrong with old things, just things that have got holes in them or torn. And I think I said that very briefly on Tuesday night when we went to see Blacklisted, but I was so tired, I was babbling. I was trying to explain that the jumper, the old Country Road woolen jumper made in Australia that I was wearing, had holes in it. And what I was trying to say is that that's my idea of perfection, when something looks lived in. But you know, I had actually, I liked it. I had bought that in an op shop 20 years ago, and it's just all holy and stuff. Anyway, what I'm saying is that my idea of perfection isn't polish. My idea of perfection is life. My idea of perfection is being lived in, and life being lived. So, anyway, that's what I'm wearing. And my Wallabies cap. Because it is Rugby World Cup time, and as Dwayne has foreseen, it's anybody's game. And unfortunately, we missed the first match of the tournament this morning, which was kickoff was 5:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time. We were going to get up for it, but we had worked till, well, Dwayne worked till about 2. I went to bed around 12:30, and look, you know, I woke up and was like, really? Well, we can watch the replay. So we don't want to know the results because we're going to watch and we're going to do our commentary. And right now we're going to keep walking. So, our shadows, my beloved. And I think I have explained. Yeah, gosh, I do talk. It's a pity we can't pause in between and actually have ad breaks. So, but look, it's stunning, you know. Like, I don't chilly. Are we doing anything today other than we're going to go work?
Yeah.
And I don't say that like I'm going to work because our work is we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Look, not all of it gives us the money that we, you know, but we're hopefully, as I said in part one of the breakfast show. Because really, this is not the breakfast show anymore. Now it's the brunch. Now it's brunch to lunch. Oh look, it's brunch time. Oh look, it's 11:30. Do you want brunch?
Yeah, sure.
No, not really.
Should we
could go home and have brunch?
Yeah.
Ooh, do you want to make your pancakes and your... Oh, Dwayne makes pancakes and he makes a cayenne maple syrup to go with it. And okay, look, you know, this is why we can no longer... This is why I say to Dwayne, please, could you just not try and make anything, you know, don't make anything like Singapore chili crab or something like that. Or... Because we both love Japanese, so any Japanese food and stuff. Anyway, but yes, that's why we can't eat brunch out. I can't eat brunch out anymore because it's all just bland. Pretty and Instagrammable, but really bland and just bloaty shit. Oh, I know where we've got to go. Oh, we may need to actually pause this or stop because, you know, I don't really want... Like, I'm transparent, but I want to keep people's privacy and also... You know, we've got errands to run and things like that. Not everything is liveable. It's just life. So, anyway. Now I'm boiling, by the way.
So good.
Oh, golly.
I'm still feeling chill.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, darling, that's because you have no fat on you. Nothing, you know, so you feel you have to stay warm with your metabolism. Oh, yeah. Look, you know, we're just... Look, I'm really glad we don't feel the need to... Well, also, I don't... More rubbish. Also, I've never been someone into pets, but also... I mean, oh, look at this. But, also... What was I saying?
Pets?
Yeah, I don't feel the need to... Let's go there. Let's go outside. I don't feel the need... I'm glad I never felt the need to own pets. Although I understand the beauty, you know, the beauty and the fun, etc., and how it gives people something to be responsible for outside of themselves. And animal and human animal have always had a connection. Always had a connection. Which I just have to segue or just go off tangent. Sorry, into. I was looking for old photographs and I found old photographs I had taken in 2018. Sorry, of a rodeo I went to, and I hadn't taken my proper camera, just the mirrorless one we use. This one, the Sony, right? Or the older one. And so the photographs aren't as good as I would have liked with my old-fashioned DSLR. But I do take, as I've said always, it's not the oven that makes the great food. So a good photographer can photograph with anything, as long as you capture the essence and energy of what it is you were trying to capture. So because of that, I've photographed this rodeo, and I really just, now looking at the photographs, I'm absolutely shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. But anyway, we have got to go and stop this. So I'm absolutely, let me just finish what I was saying. I'm absolutely shocked. I guess you can just put it on me here. I'm absolutely shocked at how cruel it is. Really, it's not fun and games. I'll show you some photographs. I'll post some. And the animals, the horses, the cows, the bulls, and the people riding them, yes, I'm sure they think, you know, the animal allowed, because people who are horse riders and people of the land, look, they don't treat their animals badly. It's not like that they're cruel to them, but there really is an idea of who is master. And there's a need to tame the animal, to control the animal, and then they have this bond. So I see that the horse riders especially have a really, particularly, they have a really incredible bond with the horse, but I think people of culture tend to understand that the horse is allowing them to ride them. Having said that, people of countries have elephants, and they pray to the elephants, and some of these elephants are not treated well. I don't really know what's going on in the world. But, where was I, darling?
Rodeo.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So the rodeo. But I could see the intensity in the rider's eyes, and they're hell for leather. And some of them are just like, you know, just chewing while they're riding around on bulls and horses that are made to almost bend their legs underneath them to be able to do these obstacle things. It's kind of cruel. And I didn't realize that then, because I was very deep in my trauma fog then. And so, yeah, but I'm going to share these photographs so that you can see. And it's quite awful, and I don't think I'll ever go to a rodeo again. And I know it's very much of people's culture, and I know that people don't understand that, you know, people also have rodeos in other cultures. So like Black American history has got a lot of cowboys, and I think that's really where they were the cowboys, really. And likewise, if you go out back, you'll see true stories about who really settled, helped, you know. So the colonizers did take it, but they had help because the people of this nation, of this land, thought they were just being helpful. They didn't realize they were going to get murdered. Anyway, there's no way these Euro colonizers could have done anything on this land without indigenous help. They lied to them. They made them help them, and then so many of them betrayed them. And these stories are out there. They're out back. They're out there. You just have to go out there. Actually, don't, because then all of you will be out there, and then you'll put your rubbish out there too. But all these stories are out there, and we'll talk about them as we go. But tomorrow we've got something really special. We'll be talking about these stories, and I don't really know what time it's going to be, but we'll schedule it. We'll schedule it for you. And then we'll be talking about some of our specific niche things, like we did with the comic, all right? With the comics, so a specific niche topic, and not me just going all over the place, but hopefully, you know, bringing all the threads together to weave a story, to just share my thoughts, blah, 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 blah. Okay, my darling, do you want to, and then come to the other side of the camera so we can say bye?
Sure.
I'm probably going to say hello.
That's a question.
Oh, we do. We have. Darling. No. What?
Oops.
I can't. I'm sorry. We can't read questions, etc. now. But these questions will disappear. Should I go tell them goodbye? See them. What's happening here? I'm sorry. I can't read questions, and I'm sorry that now everyone's just looking at nothing while please. The man retired. Okay, there's elephants. Look, there's no elephants should be in zoos. Animals should not be in zoos. There are zoos here that can you turn this on us now, darling?
Sorry, yes, my bad.
Sorry, I thought that was turned on us now. Come back here. Sorry, sometimes I'm a little bit abrupt with my husband, my beautiful, very strong-willed husband. So, let's, you know, I'm sorry. I'm a bit snappy sometimes because I just get it.
Well,
I said strong will, like some sort of but only to say that hello. No, strong people don't want to be with doormats. Strong people are strong people. Sorry, you had to see that. Bye. And also, what was I saying? We're going to have a niche thing tomorrow. We're going to talk about more of these things that we just said before. I really don't know what I was talking about, but thank you for being here. And we're going to actually take the segment that is Sigrid's interview, and we're going to put that separately. So I'd love for you to share that, and we'll let you know where that is. But right now, thank you very much for being here, and we'll talk with you later, which is probably going to be in, say, I don't know, half an hour to maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? It's not that we're erratic. It's just that we're unscripted and unscheduled and unadulterated. And unlike other things. Right. Bye. See you later.